Their transaction was filled with mutual distrust from the very beginning, and so it remained in a stalemate. In the end, it was still on the side of the Merry Republic, due to frequent dealings with advanced civilizations regarding the curvature engine. So I understand higher civilizations a bit better. Some methods for advanced civilizations to identify chaotic primordial energy. Although advanced civilizations face chaotic primordial energy, powerless just like those inferior civilizations. But I still managed to summarize some experiences. One very important point is, chaos origin energy, though indescribable, cannot be recorded. It will cause information interference to the observer's mind. Crazy. But rather than saying that the chaotic primordial energy polluted the observer's mind, rather the amount of information contained in the chaotic primordial energy is too vast. The observer cannot understand or process this information. The instruments record the same way, unable to understand or process this information. So it will only generate gibberish. So, to identify whether an item is chaotic primordial energy, isn't it crazy how such items can drive people wild? Is it impossible to be recorded by instruments? Observe whether the amount of information in this item is sufficiently large. Exceeding understanding is a more useful method. Of course, this method the Republic of Merry won't inform the caravan, after merely pretending to discuss. Even among advanced civilizations, Unit 1, chaotic primordial energy, it is a treasure enough to sparkle war. In the end, they decided to take a gamble, and so the trade began. The Republic of Merry made this deal. Each of the 10 motherships carries an extra propulsion engine. 10 motherships first deployed a propulsion engine with a diameter of over a kilometer, released from the battleship. The temporary merchant convoy saw 10 propulsion engines really appear right before their eyes. The whole place was in an uproar. The transaction was conducted cautiously and carefully by both parties. At that moment, suddenly, the alarm sounded. A planet is rapidly approaching. The flying planet. Are you joking? Both parties saw the report. The first thought that comes to mind is, impossible. But right after that, everyone was left speechless. During the trade between 2 alien civilizations, their alarm went off. The report also terrified them immensely. Let a planet take flight. This is not scientific. Not only that, based on the optical imaging results just observed, this planet was previously traveling at faster than light speed, just because this speed exceeded the speed of light. That's why we haven't been able to see it with optical imaging, until it began to slow down to below the speed of light. We just saw the image that just caught up with it. Make a planet travel at superluminal speed. Even advanced civilizations can't accomplish this, right? So that's to say, this is about our secret dealings in chaos energy, discovered by a higher civilization. Run fast. Jian. Where is that place? We were just gathered together, both parties preparing to complete the transaction. Instantly scattered and fled. The temporary merchant caravan is running the fastest here. 10 warships, each with a unique appearance. They scattered in all directions like birds and beasts. It was originally a temporary group brought together for a job. If there is hope of winning, then they can naturally maintain their cooperative relationship. But once faced with a situation of despair, then, of course, run as fast as you can. When it comes to teammates, there's absolutely no need for a rout, even if the captains of these 10 warships. Each one was captivated by the soon-to-arrive driving engine. At this moment, there was no time to care. They even equipped small spacecraft with chaotic primordial energy. They were just thrown there. This small spacecraft was originally meant to obtain the drive engine first. Directly hand it over to the side of the Republic of Mali. Transaction completed. I haven't obtained the driving engine yet. They just gave up on it. Only advanced civilizations are interested in chaotic primal energy. Can we just let them go? However, over in the Republic of Mali, there was no direct scattering and fleeing. But it's about the same. 10 warships under unified command directly discarded the 10 drive engines that had been released from the cabin. Then 10 warships moved in unison. Start accelerating in one direction. Although my heart aches deeply, but the commander understands very well. At this moment, compared to those 10 driving engines, the most crucial thing is not to be caught by advanced civilizations. At that time, advanced civilizations will come directly to hold us accountable. The entire Mali civilization may face the catastrophic disaster. Just like that, both parties directly discarded the items prepared for the transaction. Turn and run. Not a moment of hesitation. The items in their transaction were too sensitive this time. This thing called a drive engine. In the eyes of an ordinary interstellar civilization like Mali, it is very precious. But in the eyes of higher civilizations, it is nothing at all. It won't make a big fuss over this at all. However, once it involves chaos primordial energy, even advanced civilizations can instantly lose their composure, fighting each other over half a unit of chaotic primordial energy. It has happened more than once or twice between advanced civilizations. Thus, both sides made a joint decision at the first moment. The drive engine is operating at full power. Spatial distortion has reached the rated value, entering the drive acceleration phase. In an instant, the temporary merchant fleet scattered with 10 warships. There are 10 warships from the unified forces of the Republic of Mali. Everyone entered the drive flight state at the fastest speed. The drive engine does not involve kinetic acceleration, but rather move the target by dragging it through curved space. So it can be done in a short time. Quickly enter the highest speed characteristics. But this short time also requires time. So the fleeing battleship, the space cannon dragged the person in by the warped space. First was 1,000th the speed of light, then at 1% the speed of light, further to 1/10th the speed of light, climbing rapidly upward. Unexpectedly, the target began to flee. Should we proceed with the arrest? Tian inquired. I don't understand why these aliens run as soon as they see Earth. But this is my first time truly encountering an alien. Before, whether it was the people on the White Star, it's still the people from Test Site 1 Planet. They are all created by humans who have various relationships with humanity. It is clear that they belong to different civilizations. In this star region, different civilizations may have exchanges between them. So I also want to have a conversation with them. Understand some things about this star domain. Capture. My eyelids drooped. With my command, tens of thousands have already infiltrated the asteroid belt. The self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate immediately began to act. In relation to a unit of self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate on Earth, a mere tens of thousands of autonomous mechanical aggregates is nothing serious. But when these disciplined mechanical aggregates no longer hide themselves, act completely and without reservation, self-disciplined mechanical aggregates the size of tens of thousands of aircraft carriers, bursting out from behind the asteroids, instantly spread throughout the entire asteroid belt. In an instant, it was a sea of people. These self-disciplined mechanical aggregates naturally have no way to travel faster than light. However, they carried the drive engine with them. For example, 100 self-disciplined mechanical aggregates. carrying a drive engine with a diameter of about 1 kilometer. 100 autonomous mechanical aggregates disintegrated in an instant. Wrap a driving engine in it. Then recombine. Acid. Tens of thousands of autonomous mechanical aggregates combined with hundreds of drive engines. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of aircraft were formed. A temporary spacecraft approximately 3,000 meters long. Simultaneous drive engines started, chasing after the 20 warships escaping. At this moment, I was watching the two fleeing alien civilizations, leisurely sipping tea. I'm not worried at all that they will run away. Compared to Earth itself, the speed of these disciplined machines is much faster. Today is considered their first time taking on the task of capturing. Due to the spatial curvature formed by the drive engine, what is being dragged is not a massive object like Earth, so the speed was easily reached, the theoretical speed limit of the drive engine created by humans. Soon, hundreds of temporary spaceships caught up. 20 warships are fleeing at twice the speed of light at the same time and began charging up. Weapons on a 3,000-meter-long autonomous ship. The weapons on the mothership of the Merry Republic. It needs to be increased by at least 100 times, regardless of the technological level of these weapons. Earth is far more advanced than the Merry Republic. The power is much greater. It's just a matter of quantity. It's just overwhelming. The self-disciplined mechanical aggregate comes with its own. The anti-gravity device is mostly used in construction work, and the strenuous field devices, etc. On the surface of the temporary spacecraft, a layer of effort has formed, and the anti-gravity field. Mary, knowing she could not escape, faced 10 warships of the Republic, and 10 other merchant warships. Came to a stop one after another, surrendered to the self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. Rebellion against higher civilization. Let's not talk about the possibility of victory for now. It could instead bring greater disaster to Merry civilization. At this moment, the commander is considering more. It's no longer about the survival of this fleet, but the survival of the Republic of Marie. Thus, hundreds of temporary warships. Not a single shot was fired. They captured 20 warships. I thought I could enjoy a grand space battleship spectacle. It seems like there's no hope now. The temporary battleship is guiding ahead. Warship of the Merry Republic, and the merchant fleet's warships followed behind. Slowly returned to the asteroid belt. Meanwhile, the Earth has reached near the asteroid belt. To prevent the Earth's gravity, attract the asteroids from the asteroid belt. So there was a slight distance. Even so, I saw that massive planet, as light as an elephant strolling through the universe. People of various races still looked on in despair. Is this the defense of a higher civilization? It can even drive a planet using quantum navigation technology. At this moment, I had no time to pay attention to these captives. My attention was drawn to the items they had just traded. The moon analyzes the database. I have already learned the languages of these races. At the same time, we learned about the items they traded from the database. Chaos primordial energy, that is to say, the reason they ran away. They thought we were a high-level civilization coming for the chaotic primordial energy. Yes, they have in their database secret orders from the commander authorized by the Republic of Mary for the fair. Advanced civilizations will stop at nothing to obtain chaotic primordial energy. Once this transaction is discovered by the advanced civilization, the on-site commander must do everything possible to obtain the bright prospects of advanced civilization. The moon explains the way. Is Earth considered a high-level civilization now? But our current level of technology. It was just 10,000 years ago that humans had just emerged from Earth. Is it at a level of a few hundred years later? I am filled with confusion about the speed of human technological development compared to the curvature engine. I am more curious about that chaotic primordial energy. According to the information provided by both parties in the transaction, this thing is in the universe. The good things that all civilizations are fighting for. There must be something special about it. As for the curvature engine, after all, this thing exists on Earth too, even if the technical paths are different. But in the end, all paths lead to the same destination. So, accompanied by the self-discipline mechanism, a curvature engine was taken apart piece by piece. The analysis report was obtained quickly. This curvature engine is still unknown which civilization manufactured it. But at least in terms of manufacturing technology, it's not stronger than Earth. It may even be much weaker than the current Earth. Of course, the autonomous machine has also detected. This curvature engine has intentionally castrated parts. It is obviously due to the relationship with external sales. So the performance decreased. According to the records of the Republic of Mali, the advanced civilization selling their curvature engines, it has been used for over 10,000 years. Although advanced civilizations have also made modifications to the curvature engine, but there has never been any significant breakthrough, as their technological development stagnated. As for the Mali civilization, the curvature engine case has remained unsolved for thousands of years. Listening to Tayin's investigation report on the new curvature engine, I pondered quietly. I suddenly remembered something I once heard. It's called the Great Filter. It refers to some overlooked key points in the development of civilization. If intelligent life hasn't crossed over, then the development of civilization will come to a halt. For example, controlled nuclear fusion is a key milestone. Only by mastering controllable nuclear fusion, civilization can truly free itself from reliance on the energy of its home planet. Surviving away from the home planet, regardless of whether it's a body from another planet, still embarking on a journey aboard the spaceship. The curvature engine is likely to be the next key node. Only by mastering the technology of curvature navigation, civilization can truly travel freely in new spaces, instead of flying for hundreds or thousands of years over a distance of several light years. If civilization cannot overcome these nodes, then it can only come to a standstill, even if it means developing existing technology, no matter how rich and colorful the application methods are. The entire civilization appears to be flourishing, still cannot change the essence of this civilization, the fact that has come to a standstill. It was just like Earth in the early 21st century. Electromagnetic technology has developed to a certain pinnacle. A compact phone can achieve many things, things that seemed extremely science fiction hundreds of years ago. The entire civilization seems to have developed scientifically at an incredibly rapid pace. Every day, a large number of new technologies are born. Mobile phones are getting thinner and thinner. The speed of information transmission is getting faster and faster. Various diseases in humans have found treatment methods. But this still cannot change. Humanity in the early 21st century, unable to control controllable and disruptive technologies. The fact that we are still firmly trapped on Earth. It also cannot change the limit of human lifespan, still within the fact of being under 100 years old. Technology seems to be continuously advancing. In reality, it's all just development at the application level. There is no essential improvement compared to the curvature engine. Be more cautious in observing the chaotic primordial energy. But soon, Firefly in charge of observing chaotic primordial energy. It gave me a surprise. Master, the preliminary tests of the chaotic primordial energy have been completed. The target can be recorded. We have successfully observed the target. The video footage is clear and visible. However, the observation equipment of the Merry Republic only recorded garbled text. The video has turned into garbled text. What does it mean? I got a bit intense. Master, you'd better take a look at the footage we recorded in person. Firefly replied, the so-called dangerous substance known as chaotic primordial energy. The Firefly cannot let me directly reach out, but taking a look at the video is still fine. That's it. I saw the video sent over by Yang Huo. I then saw the holographic image in front of me, locked tightly in a secret chamber. That unit is the chaos origin energy. It's about the size of a sunflower seed. It felt as if the inside was a complete chaos, always attracting everything around. And I look at that diamond-shaped object the size of a sunflower seed. He turned his head again to look at the corner of the table beside him. Scattered and left there, 3 seemingly ordinary coins. A perfect rhombus object of flat size. I reached out and grabbed one, tossed it lightly in my palm a couple of times. Firefly, how many units do you think this is? 100 units. The Firefly blinked according to the size of the 2. The answer has been calculated. Why is this thing useless to us? It seems like the chaotic primordial energy has unobservable and unrecordable characteristics. In the face of it, I am completely ineffective. And not just me. The bionic girl and the intelligent quantum computer are completely unaffected. Regarding this issue, a group of quantum computers could only remain silent. What is the purpose of this thing? Why does it seem like the entire universe is competing? I raised a second question. Master, do we need to confront or interrogate both sides? All information about chaos primordial energy must be extracted, no matter what method. I command to. I now have a faint feeling. The reason humanity left the solar system so decisively back then, set sail for a long voyage. It is very likely related to this chaotic primordial energy. Based on the feedback from the Fireflies, those captured personnel, there is no intention of keeping any secrets. What did the Firefly ask? Just say it directly, even if it's about the chaos primordial energy. Even the commander of the Merry Republic is like this. Perhaps this is one of the good ways for him, although the commander does not understand either. Why would a highly advanced civilization ask these questions? Advanced civilizations should clearly understand more about the chaotic primordial energy than they do. But we also didn't dare to ask. We also dare not guess. What do advanced civilizations ask? Just answer whatever you want. The Firefly only monitored their brain waves. Make sure these people are not lying. Regarding chaos origin energy, the temporary merchants actually don't know much either. At most, I know that this thing is very precious. What is it specifically used for? They don't know either. However, the commander of the Merry Republic, there are also some high-ranking officials from the fleet. I do know some uses of chaos origin energy, although it is not comprehensive. But it's enough to get a glimpse of the big picture. Just like that. Soon, a summary of the Firefly meeting appeared before me. Analysis report on chaos primordial energy. The information is not comprehensive. After all, it's limited by the level of civilization in the Merry Republic. The information we can understand about chaos primordial energy is also limited, can be used to accelerate technological development. Or more precisely, chaos origin energy can utilize a higher dimensional perspective, supporting the development of technology, can help scientists quickly overcome research challenges. From countless possible options, choose the best one. It's not about directly giving you the answer, just to let you know which path is closest to the correct answer. But this is already enough. Give a simple example. Research on materials suitable for use in drive engine casings. Originally, it required trying tens of thousands of routes. After countless trials and errors, it may take thousands or even tens of thousands of years to successfully develop, but now, with the help of chaos primordial energy, but can be viewed from a higher dimensional perspective, directly see which routes are closest to the destination. This only requires ethical research on the few routes closest to the destination. Avoid those hundreds of thousands of failed routes, even if there might still be a few failures, but still able to do it in the shortest time possible. Research the required materials. If I put it more simply, the high-dimensional perspective of chaotic primordial energy. To put it bluntly, it is essentially a perspective of looking down from a higher dimension to a lower dimension. It's like watching ants crawling on the ground. You can easily see what obstacles the ant will encounter ahead, but the ant doesn't know. It can only keep disappearing on its own, bumping into walls time and time again. Only then can you find the right path. But if the ants could have just that one moment, gained a high-dimensional perspective, even if it's just for a moment. This is one of the functions of chaos primordial energy. Those who understand some basic scientific knowledge know many great scientific discoveries often arises from chance in scientific experiments, or perhaps a moment of inspiration. Chaos UN energy is the force that turns the accidental into the inevitable. This is the limited understanding of the chaos primordial energy by the Mali civilization, although it's rare. But it also made me completely understand this thing is really good. No wonder so many civilizations are fighting for it. This thing. How much did humanity uncover back then? Based on entries that have already been deleted from the database, and the related links speculate. Very many. Yinghua replied, I am lying on the reclining chair, looking at the false sky through the tree shade. After running for a while, I finally snapped back to reality from a strange emotion, resolved a question. Yet more questions arose. I still don't know. Why did humanity collectively leave Earth in the first place? Why can chaos UN energy disrupt all information, make oneself unobservable, the unrecordable essence? Is it not effective on humans? Is all of this related to humanity's decision to set sail thousands of years ago? Before me still lies a thick fog. At this moment I was lying on the recliner, playing with those few diamond-shaped gems. For me, this transaction turned out to be a complete accident, although it helped me unravel many mysteries. But more mysteries followed one after another. After calming down, I will no longer worry about the chaotic primordial energy for now, but continue to do what needs to be done in the moment. As the saying goes, gaze at the stars while keeping your feet on the ground. The matter of chaos primordial energy. There is also the truth about humanity's voyage into the unknown. I believe that one day I will know. What should be done now? It is according to the original plan. Investigate this asteroid belt. Let's see if we can find traces left by humans. If I can still pick up something, that would be perfect. As for the captured soldiers of the Mali Republic, there are temporary merchant fleets just like the space pirates. I haven't figured out how to deal with them yet. Just let them stay as guests for a few more days. Right now, formality is still important. Just like that, countless self-disciplined machines activated, searching throughout the asteroid belt and the entire galaxy. A few days later, indeed, a clue was found. A fragment of an irregularly shaped asteroid. It's about the size of a mountain peak. A faint signal continued to come through inside. That is precisely the standby signal of the self-disciplined machine. The autonomous machine is in standby mode. It's not completely locked down, but rather to suspend the activity. However, there will still be faint quantum encryption signals inside. Always stay in touch with the outside world, waiting to receive orders. Such quantum encryption signals, only the self-regulating machines of human civilization on Earth can perceive this. This is also in the previous two star systems. The reason why it can easily find the standby self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. So the fireflies are under my authorization. Immediately issue the command. Reactivated the self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate buried within that asteroid fragment. Immediately, with the help of the remaining self-disciplined mechanical aggregates. Dig out the guy who has been deeply embedded in the asteroid debris. The Firefly has also accessed its database. According to the records in the database, I finally understand the reason why this Earth-like planet was blown to pieces. That's right. It was done by humans 1,000,000 years ago. Of course, humans 1,000 years ago were not idle either. So let's blow up a planet for fun. In the end, it was all for the scientific experiment. Just, this experiment failed, didn't it? Human mastery of controllable nuclear fusion technology has reached the pinnacle of brilliance. When humans arrived on this Earth-like planet 10,000 years ago, after nearly 1,000 years of development, controlled nuclear fusion technology, it is no longer the same as when we first launched from Earth. It's just like the difference between the first generation of computers and supercomputers. The world's first computer was invented in 1946. Used 18,000 vacuum tubes. Occupying 170 square meters. Weighing 30 tons. Calculating 5,000 times per second. Later supercomputers. A calculation speed of 101 times per second. Both are computers. But the gap among them, it's simply unreasonable. Humans who arrived here 10,000 years ago, the level of control over nuclear fusion reached a level unimaginable for humanity in the past. Nuclear fusion miniaturization is no longer an issue. Even miniaturization is no longer an issue. It's like integrating vacuum tubes into a tiny chip. A single chip contains hundreds of billions of transistors. At that time, humanity had also achieved controllable nuclear fusion. It has been made the size of a battery. It is not a nuclear fuel cell, but truly real. A fusion nuclear power plant the size of a battery. The so-called nuclear fuel cell. It simply utilized isotopes during the decay process. Uncontrolled release of thermal energy sensors. Converted into electrical energy. But what about small nuclear power plants the size of batteries? Yet it's in such a small place as the battery. Conduct the atomic transformation reaction to unleash immense energy. You can say the energy produced by a small fusion battery, approximately equivalent to the first half of the 21st century. The total power generation of all nuclear power plants in the world over 50 years is tens of thousands of times greater. And it is precisely this enormous difference in energy levels. It can support 100,000 regions on Earth. The energy consumption is astronomical. Even so, humans are still not satisfied. Humanity needs more advanced energy. Thus, humanity intensified the annihilation of antimatter, research power with a vacuum of 0.0, and this planet. It is when humans are studying the energy produced by antimatter annihilation, accidentally blew up the entire planet. Humans have thus reached a conclusion. The energy produced by antimatter annihilation is difficult to contain. Compared to being an energy source, translation error, like a nuclear bomb. just throw it out after triggering the chain reaction, but wanting to contain the energy of a nuclear bomb for use in nuclear power plants. That makes it much more difficult. It may be difficult, but you still have to go up. In fact, the most ideal energy source. Still a vacuum 0.0, stable, gentle, and continuous. Unfortunately, even with the technological level of humanity from 10,000 years ago, it is also far from enough. Extracting energy from quantum fluctuations in a vacuum, antimatter annihilation, is still understandable. As long as we extract antimatter, let it be erased in reality. Find another way to. Translation error. Just like how a nuclear power plant utilizes nuclear energy. Although it's difficult, but there's always a way to find it. After all, humanity possesses a vast amount of chaotic primordial energy. We can leverage a higher dimensional perspective. I can see where the road ahead leads. We'll not stray off course in research. Just keep moving forward step by step. But the research on vacuum zero-point energy is much more troublesome. And because the destination is too far, even with a higher dimensional perspective, I can't see where the end is for now. We can only explore slowly for now, waiting for technology to advance further. Humanity has blown up this analog planet. After obtaining the results of this experiment, more resources were applied to research on the energy constraints of antimatter annihilation collection. Finally, there are results. The first generation of humans has been successfully developed. Antimatter annihilation energy constraint collection device. At this moment, I am lying on the recliner. The report on the supplies is still ongoing. Establish a large factory to produce this equipment, and the other planets in this galaxy either filled with extreme heat. The entire planet is filled with magma. Either it's a massive gas giant. There are no resources here. There are no suitable planets for colonization. The only Earth-like planet has been destroyed by humans. In the end, humanity decided to temporarily change the destination. Let's go to a star system 5 light-years away next door. Establish a factory there. Production of antimatter annihilation energy confinement collection device. Then set sail towards the next goal. Exactly 5 light-years is not far. It's coming soon. The originally set goal, but first went to the neighboring 5 light-years away. Then set sail according to the original plan. I listened as Yinghuo explained the information obtained from the database. Finally, understand what humans did here 1,000 years ago. Fortunately, I found the data target for the self-disciplined mechanical aggregate here. We didn't set sail directly as planned. Otherwise, we will miss the antimatter factory built 5 light-years away. At the same time, according to the database, humans have not left any laboratories on this asteroid, and even if there is a laboratory, it contains technical information. There are no specific factory equipment. Want to produce a containment device for antimatter smoke extinction energy. Still unable to do it. Building such a large factory from scratch. During this time, you will encounter many unexpected problems in the laboratory. All issues must be resolved on site during the factory establishment process. But relying solely on myself, it can't be solved no matter what. Building from nothing to something, it has already exceeded my abilities. Even if you provided me with the technical documentation, building it is incredibly difficult. So the best way is to find the factories left behind by humans. Continue copying homework. So, after searching for several more days in the asteroid belt, after the harvest, I am ready to head to the neighboring star system 5 light-years away immediately. The stars of the factories built by humans. By then, the Earth's energy system, then we can carry out a major upgrade. To be honest, even if humanity has developed nuclear energy to its ultimate utilization, to supply the energy currently needed on Earth, I am gradually feeling a bit powerless, regardless of the consumption during the journey of 100,000 drive engines. There are also the construction of 1,000,000 pillars of heaven. One could even say the Earth Poverty Alleviation project requires 1,000 years of effort. It is also closely related to the energy supply issues. The existing energy must first be supplied for the propulsion engine. The remaining materials can be used to build the Pillar of Heaven. But if we harness the energy provided by antimatter annihilation, then everything will be fine. Under the force of the powerful drill, even the speed of the propulsion engine can be significantly increased. According to the calculations of several smart quantum computers, the speed of the Earth doubled. Reaching 4 to 5 times the speed of light is not a problem. At the same time, the Earth Poverty Alleviation plan can also be greatly accelerated. Reducing the construction time by half is also not a problem. But before leaving, I have one more thing to do about the issue of those prisoners. It's time to deal with it. I had been focusing on my formal responsibilities. It was only then that time was finally freed up. I went to check on those prisoners. At that moment, distance from a group of soldiers from Mali Republic, members of the temporary caravan, were captured. It has been half a month already. Commander of the Republic of Mali. The name transliterated is Marrakech. From the beginning, the tense tank. Eventually, I gradually got used to it. Finally, it has gradually calmed down. After all, advanced civilizations can do whatever they wish. He couldn't stop it either, even if a higher civilization really wants to because of this incident, and hold the Mali civilization accountable. What else could Karinka do besides arguing a few points? It is even possible his arguments will not reach the ears of higher civilizations. Since that's the case, let's just go with the flow. Compared to Karlinch's gradual calmness, the captains of the merchant caravans, they were all like startled birds. After all, what they used to do often was fighting and robbery. Translation error. Now it's my turn. What if advanced civilizations treat themselves that way too? Then it would be better to just die. How should it be handled? Another difficult problem. I ordered Yin Huo to interrogate both parties again. Compared to before, my attention was all on the chaotic dream. This time, the interrogation is more intense. It was their past experiences. Those caravan people. Without a doubt, they are all a bunch of losers. The kind that is not worth regretting. But I don't want to be affected by these scum, but got their hands dirty. As for the people of the Mali Republic, I actually don't have any bad feelings. After all, they are soldiers who follow orders. I am, because of the country I grew up in during my youth, naturally fond of soldiers. So, how to deal with the two parties? I also have an idea in my heart. But before I made my decision, Yin Huo then told me something. Things learned without disagreement during the interrogation. After listening to Yin Huo's report, my expression also became serious. Listening to Yin Huo's report, I wore a serious expression. 5 light years away, the star system where humanity built factories 10,000 years ago. At this moment, in the words of the Mali people, referred to as the black hole galaxy. Of course, it's not that star system. It means turned into a black hole, but refers to that star system. Like a black hole, everything only goes in and never comes out. Any civilization's warship entered that star system. No one has ever come back. Even according to the Malians, selling the Mali people's drive engine. A high civilization named Hinuo, once upon a time, 1,000 years ago, sent warships into the black hole galaxy. The outcome was the same, with no return, even entering the black hole galaxy from the battleship. And then there was no more news coming out. There is not a single quantum communication signal. For this and the advanced civilization of Nuo Gao, they even specially sent someone to investigate and study it. The result was found. The entire black hole galaxy in a state of inexplicable lockdown. The detector can enter, but cannot leave. Even the signal from the probe cannot be conveyed. Even optical telescopes can see clearly. The detector is right there. Even issuing action orders, the detector can still receive and act according to the instructions. But the signal from the detector, it just can't be conveyed. At the same time, the detector itself cannot leave. This strange phenomenon, at that time, it sparked great curiosity about the Nuo civilization, but immediately after, with the Nugao and other civilizations, with the civilization of Misegao, because of half a unit of chaotic primal energy, and war broke out. Research on black hole galaxies by the He civilization, it has come to an end. Thus, regarding the existence of black hole galaxies, it gradually spread among civilizations within a radius of about 100 light years. There were also some civilizations during this time came to check out of curiosity, but they just watched from a distance and then left. And nearby, over 100 light years, they mostly belong to the influence of the No Gao civilization, although it is considered a relatively remote area. But there are very few other advanced civilizations that come to explore. So while the Nuo Gao civilization was busy with war, naturally, there are no other advanced civilizations coming to study black hole galaxies, even after the war ended. The advanced civilizations may have already forgotten this place. Similarly, they did not come back to study until the emergence of the Earth. Could it be that humans did something in that star system? That's why it turned into a black hole galaxy. I can only guess like this. Who made us walk this path? Humans have built a magical world once again. It's time to conduct experiments and blow up planets again. What kind of black hole galaxy is this? Just as humanity was preparing to build galaxy of the large antimatter annihilation energy constrained collection device factory, it's highly likely that they are involved. In the end, is it really as I suspected? You can only find out by going to see it. Moreover, antimatter reactor, I will never give up. No energy constraint collection device. Can't even build an antimatter reactor. Light is only to human footprints. I also have to take a trip. Before setting off, I released the fleet of the Merry Republic. After all, both sides were not in an antagonistic relationship from the very beginning. The personnel of the Merry Republic fleet, not the slightest bit of resentment towards me, even deeply grateful. After all, I privately trade KSU and energy, captured by a superior civilization. It's already good enough that I didn't go to my mother to seek justice. In the end, I still set myself free. Such advanced civilizations are rare. As for the temporary merchant convoy, that is another kind of treatment. I first joined the temporary caravan. Captives from a plundered primitive civilization, handed over to the commander of the Merry Republic. Have them help send these poor people back as much as possible. There were even many women who had been ravaged and were unrecognizable. We have entered an interstellar civilization, but it lacks the style that interstellar civilization should have. Is torturing prisoners really that entertaining? Low level. Then I dealt with this group of interstellar scum. It was also handed over to the commander of the Merry Republic. I don't want to dirty my hands. Let others take care of it." Kalincha naturally speaks with great elegance. And so the matter was resolved. 10 warships of the Merry Republic sailed far away. The speed gradually increased to twice the speed of light, disappearing into the universe. The Earth also tilts slightly, heading towards the black hole galaxy 5 light-years away. 5 light-years. It would take about 2.5 years to fly at the speed of Earth. Time is neither long nor short. After I hesitated, still chose to hibernate. Soon 2.5 years have passed. The time has come to the year 10,993 of the Kiheng calendar. I was awakened from the sleep chamber by a female cyborg. The black hole galaxy is just ahead. At this moment, in front of me is a holographic projection, the complete picture of a black hole galaxy, looking at it from outside the galaxy with an optical telescope. A galaxy with a black hole is just an ordinary galaxy, a star, and the 10 planets orbiting around the star. Master, should we immediately dispatch the autonomous machines for reconnaissance? Kaiming's voice echoed. Take action. Surrounding the Earth, the massive self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate immediately surged to life. The self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate of the Million Pillar is under construction. From the middle, 100 emerged, flying to space under the influence of anti-gravity devices. Suddenly in low Earth orbit, received a region engine with a diameter of about 1 kilometer. Immediately after that, hundreds of autonomous mechanical clusters enveloped the regional engine. In the blink of an eye, disassembled and reassembled. A ship over 3,000 meters long appeared in low Earth orbit. Suddenly, the ship's engine started. The ship reached 1/10 the speed of light at an incredible pace, heading towards the target galaxy, up to a few minutes. The ship has already vanished into the interior of the target star system. Quantum communication is normal. Spatial awareness radar activated, receiving the return signal. Everything is normal. Kaiming reported the exploration results. However, it is precisely because everything is normal that it is the most abnormal. Isn't it said? Is the signal from the black hole galaxy unable to be transmitted? No one can answer my questions. After hesitating, I still decided to go in and take a look. Then the Earth started up towards the so-called black hole galaxy, sailing away. At this moment, the Earth is traveling into the galaxy at 1,000th the speed of light. The speed can be considered slow. As the Earth entered the galaxy, tens of thousands of disciplined mechanical aggregates were also dispatched, carrying the regional engine, combined to form hundreds of temporary warships, searching all around the galaxy, searching for the planet where humans built factories 10,000 years ago. Quickly locked onto 3 planets near the star. One of them could only be seen from afar. You can see the lush scenery. It is clearly a planet with life. I watched the live footage projected across the entire system. Hundreds of temporary warships hovered above the 3 planets, reassemble into a self-disciplined mechanical aggregate, then decompose again, become billions of small, self-disciplined machines. These small self-regulating machines quickly change forms, transformed into unmanned drones, quickly descending towards the planet's surface, especially that planet suspected to have life. I even looked through the lens. I saw various items on the planet that appeared to be man-made structures. As the unmanned drone approaches the planet closer and closer, the gravity of the planet is starting to have an effect. After being transformed by the second-generation Nimi robots, the self-regulating machinery, it has anti-gravity capabilities. Need to use it when activated by the second-generation NAMI robot. On the surface of the unmanned drone formed intricate textures. That was simulated by the NAMI robot. A simple anti-gravity device with anti-gravity capabilities, although it is not as advanced as a real anti-gravity device. But it excels in simple applications. Even if the texture is damaged, the NAMI robot can quickly regenerate. Everything is proceeding according to plan. Suddenly, urgent message transmitted by the unmanned drone. Master, the second-generation NAMI robots have reportedly discovered a large number of similar NAMI robots. The second-generation NAMI robot is in operation. A signal source from an inner machine robot has been detected nearby, but cannot be touched. Is it left behind by humans? Why can't we connect? I reacted immediately. It is still uncertain whether it was left behind by humans, unable to reach out because the other party is too insignificant. From the perspective of the signal source's perception, it might only be 1/10 the size of our second-generation NAMI robot, or even smaller. Can it be captured, brought back, and further analyzed? The self-discipline mechanism has initiated an emergency return and carry a trace sample. The next step will be testing conducted by the laboratory. The test results came out quickly as well. Master, the interior of the galaxy has been confirmed. There exists a large number of scattered NAMI robots. The quantity cannot be estimated. More advanced than the second-generation NAMI robot. Large amounts of scattering, not just on the planet. Is there also in outer space? I am confused. Yes, this brand new NAMI robot. Everywhere in this galaxy. The planets will be more densely packed. Pyming replied. It is human nanobot technology. Is there a lineage connection? I continued to ask. We disassembled several intermeter robots. It has been confirmed with the first-generation NAMI robot and the second-generation NAMI robot, with a lineage of inherited technology. It can be confirmed that the creations of humans are fundamentally human-made, Kyming said cautiously. However, further confirmation is still needed. Then Kyming tested a few of my hairs. Master, we are in the experiment. With your hair cells, tried to engage with this brand new inner micro robot. The robot performed exceptionally smoothly. The test results were as expected. These third-generation NAMI robots. Why is there such a large spread? It doesn't look like the second-generation NAMI robots from experimentation Site 1. Eventually, they all converged into clusters of ore. I don't understand. Because of size and weight. Compared to these newly discovered third-generation NAMI robots here, second-generation NAMI robots on test Site 1, regardless of size or weight, they all far exceed the third-generation nanotechnology robots. If not for their common origin, the second-generation NAMI robot can still detect the weaknesses of the third generation. I'm afraid they won't even notice their existence. Should we capture a part of it and then implant it into the body? Maybe we can control it directly by then. All the NAMI robots in this entire galaxy truly experience what an avatar accident is. The feeling of consciousness enveloping the entire galaxy. A bold idea surfaced in my mind, but this kind of presumptuous thinking. However, they were stopped by a quantum computer, although it has already been confirmed. These third-generation NAMI robots left behind by humans. It won't harm me, but without obtaining the manufacturing technology, before fully understanding its principles, I resolutely let it enter my body. It seems a bit adventurous to me. My attention was immediately drawn to the technical information about the third-generation NAMI robot. Searching for the factory that manufactures antimatter annihilation reactors, I have temporarily pushed everything to the back of my mind. Master, according to the messages transmitted back by the unmanned drone, among the 3 planets, the third generation Nami robots on the living planet have the highest density, far surpassing the other 2 lifeless planets. On this living planet, the Nemi robots on this planet, it is simply impossible to maintain a density far exceeding that of other places. The unmanned drone has marked several locations with abnormal density of inner robots, moving along the distribution line from low to high density, searching for the continuously increasing position of the Nemi robot. Very good. Report immediately upon receiving any news. I stretched lazily. It is time to unveil the mysteries of this new world. It felt like encountering Sleeping Beauty's dress in the endless sea of stars for the first time. The first exploration of Test Site 1 encountered other interstellar civilizations in the same way. At this moment, I am filled with anticipation for the unknown. What kind of surprises will humanity from 10,000 years ago leave for me this time? Carrying this anticipation, the regional engine is activated again. With the fluctuations of space, the Earth is moving closer to that Earth-like planet with life. At this moment, I am looking at the entire projection, this ancient and charming city and its architecture. A big question mark arises in my mind, even though we were already prepared. But the ability of humans to create is beyond my expectations. But that's not important. The focus is the unmanned drone has located the anomaly of the Nemi robots continuously increasing. The location of the Nemi robot manufacturing factory can be basically confirmed. So I eagerly brought the Earth to hover above this planet, directly confronted. Speaking of which, this is still my first time opening up the Earth, so close to another planet. Close enough that I stand on the Earth gazing up at the sky. You can see the planet on the other side, occupied nearly half of the sky above the Earth. In the past, whether in the White Star, still at Test Site Planet 1, the Earth will dock in a relatively distant orbit. It is to prevent the 2 planets from getting too close. Collision under the pull of gravity. If it weren't for this time, the anti-gravity device laid beneath the Earth's surface is almost completed. I will not do that. When Earth set sail from the White Star, it has been continuously laying down anti-gravity devices beneath the surface. After 200 years of construction, finally, the groundwork has been mostly completed. These anti-gravity devices can partially offset gravity, causing the Earth to approach the other planets. It won't be because the 2 planets are too close together, mutually attracted to the point of collision. Of course, being too close is also not good. Even the anti-gravity devices spread across the entire Earth. I don't have that much power yet. For the indigenous people of this planet, this is an unprecedented, terrifying phenomenon. I watched that group of people flying on their airships in the projection, dressed like a cultivator from a novel. Although I have seen the ferries of Test Site 1 using internal nanobots, the method used by this group of people should be similar. I still can't help but admire this group of people. The mastery of controlling the 3rd-generation nanobots, almost able to do whatever I want. This has deepened my interest in 3rd-generation nanobots. Unable to wait any longer, I decided to take action myself, sail on the Qingfeng and personally explore this fantastical world. Thus, the Qingfeng ship is stationed in the center. Countless self-disciplined machines surround me, continuously combining with each other, reassemble into self-disciplined mechanical aggregates. Rushing towards this realm of cultivation, quickly crossed the distance between the 2 planets, arrived above the target planet, just arrived at the planet's interior. I can already feel it. The concentration of 3rd-generation nanobots is increasing all around. It seems that these nanobots have also sensed my arrival, became more lively than usual, looking at the magnificent architecture beneath my feet. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of admiration. This is clearly a scene that exists only in fictional works. At this moment, it truly appeared before my eyes, according to the investigation report of the self-discipline mechanism. If nothing unexpected happens, this is the manufacturing site of the third generation, nanobots. Just as my fleet was about to arrive, a loud noise suddenly came from the mountain gate, accompanied by a faint glow of light. The entire mountain was shrouded in an unknown substance. I haven't reacted yet. The self-disciplined mechanical aggregates of several factions have been attacked. What is this? Report to the master. This should be made by third-generation nanobots. Constructed defensive fortifications. Our autonomous mechanical group is under attack. Do we need to counterattack? The sound of the bell ringing echoed. What is the extent of damage to our unit? The opponent failed to breach our energy field defense. Detected a large number of life signs. Approaching our side. Do we need to shoot it down? Let's not rush and see how things unfold. I don't want to get covered in blood right from the start. After all, we are on someone else's territory. I have no intention of being enemies with them either. But I can't just let them be. Crazy output towards my fleet. First, try showing goodwill to calm them down. Report to the master. The other party harbors a high level of hostility towards us. Currently unable to communicate effectively. I frowned. Then use strength. Remove the opponent's defenses, using a strained field to suppress the opponent. Do not take lides. I looked at the holographic projection. The group of immortal practitioners dressed in long robes and standing on flying ships. The flying ship is launching a powerful attack. Their attack is weaker than number one. The spirits in the heart of the experimental field are definitely not as good as. If placed in the 21st century, tanks, aircraft, and aircraft carriers under such an attack. It's as if it's made of paper. But it's still not enough for me. Just as I was pondering how to communicate with them, Timing's voice came again. Master, the opponent's defenses have been breached. Most personnel have been secured. Some stronger individuals are still resisting. I stared at the image in the holographic projection. That should be someone like an elder from this sect, although their fighting power far exceeds that of these ordinary cultivators. But it was only a matter of time before they were taken down. Still wait until we have them all under control. Let's explain it to them again. The battle outside is still ongoing. At this moment, the mountain gate had turned into chaos. Have you met the sect leader? The person merely nodded slightly. Although being the master of a clan, extraordinary experiences, but today the world displays such strange phenomena. I have never seen anything like it myself. Isn't it? A sense of foreboding arose in the heart of the sovereign. He then prepared to speak with the elders about how to make a reservation. They hadn't even exchanged a few words yet. What happened next shocked everyone present. The mountain protection formation was broken in just a few moments. Then everything fell into chaos, seeing the sect disciples unable to withstand. The Lord had no choice but to take action at this moment. He could only see a little. In an instant it had flown out of the palace. Perception of awaking. Master, detected new life signs rapidly approaching. One entity is already capable of posing a threat to us. The report of the start of the call came in. I was taken aback. What? There are still experts. On the Kingfing ship. I am still watching this battle, although there are still a few cultivators resisting. But obviously it can't last long. although dozens of powerful masters have joined the battle. But it is just a drop in the bucket. Only one figure caught my attention, under the bombardment of the plasma cannon, although it seems a bit awkward. But one person standing against the five self-disciplined mechanical aggregates still does not fall behind. I didn't expect there to be such a strong expert in this small sect. Translation error. Our red force field defense has actually been breached, although the attack after the breakthrough was already at its limit, for causing damage to our self-regulating mechanical aggregate. But this strength should not be underestimated. Taking advantage of the gap in the Chai field defense, the person struck out again with a single move, directly severed the arm of a self-regulating mechanical conglomerate. The sword energy pierced through and obliterated a mountain peak. Whoa! Seeing it cut in half, the mountain wall is as smooth as a mirror. I instantly lost my composure. Although the self-disciplined mechanical aggregate has the ability to disassemble and reassemble, such an attack cannot cause effective damage. However, the power of this blow can be described as terrifying. You need to know. The self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate is designed for large-scale construction projects. The materials used are the latest neem alloy materials. Moreover, after the upgrade of the second-generation NEMI robot, the hardness level is beyond that of ordinary alloy capabilities. The result was unexpectedly cut off by a single sword strike. I have to admire this person's skills. Such strength, if not a master of a clan, at least it's something like a reclusive ancestor. If the recent attack had landed below, it seems the entire mountain gate will be blown to pieces. I can't stay behind anymore. I immediately gave the order. The self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate has activated serious mode. The severed place instantly reassembled, standing intact and solitary. The white figure was also stunned, their pupils shaking at the scene before them. That was his full-powered strike. Yet it couldn't harm this monster in the slightest. A sense of helplessness rose within him. The hand holding the sword began to tremble slightly. He is the leader of the Qingshuan sect. What scene have I never seen? Life and death struggles are not something I've never experienced. But it's still the first time. He had the thought of running away, but this thought was only a fleeting moment. If the sect leader himself fled, those disciples with shallow cultivation, facing this terrifying external demon, it's bound to be struck. So one cannot escape oneself. We cannot lose, only to fight to the death. Thinking of this, the Lord's gaze was resolute. To harness one's entire cultivation, one must risk their life. But I in the cockpit of Kingzong still didn't know. I have already become the external demon in the other's words. At this moment, all the cultivators were powerless to continue fighting, captured one after another. Only that solitary figure is still fighting, but faced with the relentless assault of the self-disciplined machinery swarm, also gradually fell behind. The once pristine white garment is now tattered and worn. At this moment, my physical strength is unknown. Is the heavens trying to destroy my Qingshuan sect? The sovereign's eyes were filled with despair, looking at the massive object in the sky that blocked out the sun. He knew the densely packed steel monsters around him. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the other party's strength. One can only look up and sigh. Destiny. The sword blade suddenly reversed. I reacted quickly to the scene of the sword's death, immediately commanded, "Stop him." 1,000 troops in a single shot. The self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate instantly activated the force field. The sword princess, about to be stained with blood, takes flight. Goodness gracious, almost caused a big problem. I truly didn't expect the other person's character to be so strong, choosing to end it all to avoid capture. Suddenly I was drenched in cold sweat. This has been a misunderstanding from the beginning to the end. What if someone ends up dead? Then it really becomes hard to explain. The long sword slipped from his grasp. The last glimmer of hope for the sovereign was shattered. Instantly my heart felt like dead ashes. Her gaze dimmed as well. A crowd of disciplined, mechanical aggregates surged forward. Hold him tightly. He did not struggle at all. The fierce battle has finally come to an end. I also let out a sigh of relief. If it weren't for these cultivators attacking without a word, this battle could have been completely avoided. Looking at the completely destroyed mountain gate, I shook my head. Master, all targets have been successfully captured. Waiting for the verdict. The sound of the gong echoed. I waved my hand. Using the control program, seal all the third generation nanobots inside their bodies. Temporarily detained. Then I took the android girl out of the cockpit. The carriage has been hit. They caught a person too. It's time to get down to business. At the sound of the command, tens of thousands of autonomous mechanical aggregates are floating in the sky, landed near the gate of Kingshuan sect, combined to form giant Jedi machines, accompanied by a thunderous roar. The entire land seemed to be shaking. Countless Jedi machines begin digging towards the underground. And I have already been with the bionic girl, controlling the anti-gravity device, gently descended in front of this mountain gate. In the forest outside Kingshuan sect, Guo Yuju was struggling to weave through the forest. Although already separated from the battle group, but fear is like a retro body, unable to escape no matter what. The hurried footsteps dared not pause for a moment. Run fast. Do not look back. It felt as if there were countless malevolent entities behind me. As long as he slows down just a little bit, will be consumed by that endless terror. The magical sword given by the master was strapped to his back, but looking at the colossal giant that obscured half the sky in the distance, there are countless monsters, like a locust plague. He could only try to lower his body as much as possible, escaping from the darkest corner. A bit of record. A cataclysm occurred 1,000 years ago when the Jade Outer Sky demon descended. Almost brought the entire cultivation world to utter ruin. Fortunately, all the major sects abandoned their swords and worked together. It took a tremendous cost to eliminate the Jade Outer demon. And just today, Magic Festival returns. He needs to quickly relay the news of the Jade Outer Sky demon's return. Notify all major sects. Thinking of this, he did not dare to be slack. Put more force into your steps. Until they had run over 100 miles. Looking back, I could no longer see that nest of demons that seemed ready to swallow the entire sky. This is when the flying sword was revealed, rushing towards the Loyan sect 300 miles away. At this moment, I have already left the King Feng, landed outside the main hall of the Kingshuan sect with the bionic girl. At this moment, all the captured disciples of Kingshuan sect, they were all imprisoned in several small courtyards. The once vast sect is now completely deserted. I didn't expect things to turn out like this. I shook my head. I originally wanted to explain it to them. It seems unnecessary now, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, my goal in coming here, it was only to find the manufacturing factory of the third generation Nami robot. It's just technical documentation. At worst, we'll just grab what we need and leave. Anyway, since I'm free right now, it's better to take a look around here. It just feels like something is missing when I look at it this way. I gave a few instructions to the humanoid girl. A moment later, she brought someone back. The person was tightly bound. The whole person was in a sorry state. Looking at the familiar white figure, Enemies seem to burst forth from the eyes. I feel very helpless as well. At this moment, this world-renowned master of the Qingshuan sect, no longer will I waste the magnificent skill of standing firm against 5 opponents. At this moment, she was like an ordinary weak woman with her public body locked away, scattered and chaotic. The dress had long been tattered and worn, revealed snow-white skin. Forgive me, I have seen countless beauties. One can't help but marvel at her stunning beauty, as if stepping out of a painting, even if defeated and become a prisoner, still exuding the aura of a clan leader. If it weren't for this usual way of tying up, it's a bit of a buzzkill. I believe that a beauty in distress has a unique charm. What's going on with this rope? I asked with a puzzled expression. This will prevent her from escaping, the bionic girl said as she tugged at the rope in her hand. He replied with great satisfaction. I have learned about the master's body. I know you like this one. If you want to, it's no problem for the robot to make her a maid outfit. Stop it. Don't say any more. Let's get back to the main topic. I quickly stopped the bionic girl from her dangerous thoughts. I need you to find me a tour guide. How did you bring her here? She is the sect leader. Definitely knows this place the best. Of course, we need to find her. The android girl speaks eloquently. You outsiders, heavenly demons, don't think you can disguise yourself as us. Can fool the eyes of this sect master. At this moment, the sect leader felt nothing but shame as the master of my own domain. Now I'm being led around like a dog on a leash. Desire for the outer celestial demon. What is that? I don't understand. The cold woman scoffed and turned her head away. The bionic girl frowned and was about to explode. But I stopped it. Forget it. You are unwilling to speak. There are always those willing to speak. I turned to the bionic girl and said, "Go ask others. There are so many people in the sect. Even if the disciple knows little, the elders should know a few things right. Many elders just surrendered." Then I looked at this thorny white rose. For a moment I didn't know what to do. Her expression was colder than the ice and snow of Mount Everest. However, at this moment I am disheveled. Most of the spring light is difficult to cover, no matter how she struggles. A tremendous sense of shame. Her jade-like skin faintly flushed with a hint of pink. She felt the air around her scorching her body. Her ears were as red as if they were about to bleed. Great humiliation. 300 years ago, the name of the Western demon fairy was already famous across the land. Everyone in the cultivation world knows. Not only is he exceptionally talented, even more breathtakingly beautiful. King Lai Wuxiuan. She is the world's top cold beauty. The young talents who admired her were as numerous as the flowing water across the river. Countless talented individuals chased after her. 300 years have passed. At that time, there was only the Western demon fairy Zhu Jai Kai, has now become the West demon master of Yuan Ying Kai. She is far more beautiful now than she used to be. It's just about facing her identity as Yuan Yingki. No one dares to express their affection anymore. Legend has it that no one in this world has ever been able to stir her emotions. But today, she not only has emotional fluctuations, the whole person has broken down. Thinking of this, a layer of mist couldn't help but cloud her eyes, just holding back without an outburst. I looked at this contrasting scene. An inexplicable impact rushed towards me. I cleared my throat twice and quickly opened my eyes, just about to start awkwardly chatting to break this strange atmosphere. The voice of Kaiming echoed, "Master, she has an object on her that carries spatial compression technology. Can be searched. Hearing Kaiming's report, My heart suddenly became fervent. Space compression. This is a great thing. Is it possible that? I looked at the storage pouch on the waist of the sect master. It was as if it sensed my gaze. The leader of the Western demon sect slowly raised their head, but the great villain was staring at him with piercing eyes. Look at this piece of clothing that can't even find a decent fabric. In an instant, embarrassment and anger intertwined. What are you looking at, you lecher? If you dare to have such thoughts. This sect master will die with you, no matter what. I didn't expect that this otherworldly demon is not only cold-blooded, but also brutal. Still a lecherous thief with no shame. The cultivation attained through personal discipline and self-refinement. Today am I really going to fall into the hands of this monster? Thinking of this, the leader of the Western demon sect felt a chill creeping into their bones. The whole body was enveloped in fear. The suburbs also trembled slightly on their own. My attention was entirely on the storage bag at the waist of the sect leader. Completely failed to incorporate the Lord's reprimand. If nothing unexpected happens, the space compression technology mentioned by Kaiming. It should be this thing. The storage bag was covered in exquisite patterns. The overall size is still not bigger than a palm. It's called a storage bag, more like a pouch. Kaiming, do you know how this thing works? I whispered, not yet clear. Suspected to have used spatial compression technology, and internally, anti-gravity countered the weight. Further testing is still needed. Got it. It seems I can only borrow it from the sect leader. However, looking at his expression, it's unlikely that he will agree. Forget it. Just give it back to him in a moment. Thinking of this, I unexpectedly walked straight towards the leader of Xian's sect, Xiao Zhenren, still immersed in fear. Hearing the footsteps approaching slowly, suddenly a shiver ran through. What do you want, you demon? Do not come any closer to me, the sect leader. Otherwise, this sect leader will haunt you even in death. The footsteps are not loud. At this moment, it felt like a deception to the leader of the Xiao sect. Each step he takes treads upon his frantic heart. Ziyao Zhangju struggled desperately to break free from the restraints. Rope made from internal American materials. Is it really that easy to break free? The master of the Xiao clan, trapped by the internal 3 generations of nanobots. At this moment, she is no different from an ordinary woman. The demon lowered itself. A hand reached out to my waist, just touched her body. Xiao sect master felt as if he had been electrocuted. Kinxiu Shujiazi. No one of the opposite sex had ever touched her body. You lecherous thief. Bold, unrestrained, shameless. Don't touch me. The leader of the Xiao sect struggled violently while scolding. The cold aura of the clan leader instantly vanished. At this moment, the sect leader, yet like a child throwing a tantrum, the scolding voice was almost choked with tears. I didn't expect her reaction to be so strong. I just accidentally bumped into it. How did I become a lecher? I was just about to explain. Who would have thought that the leader of the Xiao sect would disregard their image? It bit down on my palm. Oh my! The fairy bit someone. I screamed in pain. Quickly pulled his hand away with all his strength. A small, clear bite mark suddenly appeared on the palm. Are you a dog in the zodiac? Likes to bite. The taste is still so strong. I squatted to the side and shook my hand. It hurts so much that my eyes and nose are almost twisted together. You deserve it, you lecherous thief. Zhangju Qi Dao. At this moment, looking at my awkward expression, I don't know how it changed. Xiao's sect leader couldn't help but let out a chuckle. This smile, like ice melting and snow disappearing. Unmatched beauty surpasses the spring flowers and autumn moons. even having seen countless beauties. I, who is said to remain unperturbed in the face of temptation. At this moment I couldn't help but be stunned, not just because of the smiles of this world. Even more so, it contrasts with the cold and frosty demeanor from just moments ago. The master who is like two different people. But this scene was only a fleeting moment. The patriarch was startled by his own master. Unconsciously, my heart trembles. Seeing me staring at him intently, a mix of shame and anger in my heart. Just about to open my mouth to scold, but caught a glimpse of what was in my hand. He looked again at his waist. The bag of items has long since vanished. Suddenly turned pale with shock. "Give it back to me, you wicked thief!" Zhao Zongju struggled to get up and lunged towards me. I was stunned, and he knocked my senses completely away. The two fell to the ground together. The master was bound by his body. This fall left the person sprawled on top of me, unable to move. I fell and became dizzy and disoriented. The head of a prestigious clan actually charged at someone with a ball. "Hurry up and give my things back to me. Otherwise you'll see what I can do." Just now Master Ziyao, in a moment of panic, actually forgot her own situation. At this moment, lying on my chest unable to move, the man's scent made her feel flustered. Her face was as red as blood, but she could only force herself to remain calm. I slowly regained my senses, looking at the Lord Patriarch right before me. The spring hue on her chest is hard to conceal. Suddenly I was so shocked that I couldn't speak. "No peeking, you lecherous thief. If you look again, I'll gouge out your eyes. Quickly return my things to me. Where has the leader of the Ziyao sect ever been bullied like this?" In an instant it surged from my heart. Tears quickly rushed out like a stream. "You bad person. Translation error. Speak, and you will want to bite again." I shouted in fear. "Wait a moment. Zongju, please listen to my defense." "No, let me explain." Zhao Zongju, with tearful eyes, said resentfully, "At this point, what more is there to say between you and me, you villain? You return to our sect. Translation error. Still humiliating me like this. If our sect leader were to yield to you, isn't that something to be mocked by the world? Please, I just came to find something. You all came up here and fought hard. You didn't even give me a chance to explain." I shouted that I was wronged. He lifted the storage bag in his hand. "This is closely related to the things I am searching for. Just borrowing a barrier. I will return it to you soon, and the things inside won't move. Look at how anxious he is. There is probably something important inside. Hurry up and let Kaiming check if Wang has returned it to him." Ziya's sect master heard this. "The emotions have just eased a bit. Why should I trust you? Who knows if there's some kind of conspiracy?" I shrugged my shoulders. "What can you do if you don't believe, given your current situation? I can't even think of any schemes to play against you. The master of Ziya's sect is uncertain. Upon careful consideration, that's indeed the case. King Shu and Zong's powers still cannot prevail. Even if the other party wants to take, they'll take." Helplessness enveloped me. The leader of the Ziyao sect finally stopped her tears. Tears have not yet dried on my face, both enchanting and pitiful. He noticed me staring at him blankly. He blushed. "Now Niu Dao still won't let me up." Translation error. Ziyao Zongju didn't know what was wrong with him. Such intense emotional fluctuations have never been experienced for hundreds of years. Not even facing a life and death duel with a sworn enemy. This month has been so chaotic. Fortunately, this moment is not in front of the gate's disciples and elders. Otherwise, if they see me like this, The image of being the master of one's own domain is about to be shattered. I see his emotions calming down. Finally let out a sigh of relief, just as she was about to get up to help him. Then I heard the voice of the bionic girl. "Master, the information about the so-called foreign celestial demons has been clarified. There is also a production site for the third generation Nini robots." Before the voice could finish, only the sound of something falling to the ground. The bionic girl's tablet fell to the ground. I looked at the Zeus sect master lying on me. I looked again at the shocked expression of the bionic girl, reveal an awkward yet polite smile. "Listen to me explain. This is an accident. Kaiming, please explain it to me quickly. At this moment I am with the android girl." Following the disciplined machinery, a deep pit is dug straight down to the Earth's core. Going down the road. The awkward scene from just now is still vivid in my mind. The replicant girl didn't forget to tease me along the way. "Master, do we really not need to bring him? I see that the sect leader seems to suit your taste quite well. You even left a mark for me." The bionic girl looked at me with piercing eyes and said, I looked at the small bite mark on my palm. "It still aches faintly. I really didn't expect that. Such an ice-cold beauty. When she gets angry, she's like a fierce tigress. If I had known it would be like this. One should summon the inner armor from within." I came into contact with him again. "That's right. Tell me again about the outer heaven demon they speak of." "Good master, the bionic girl has already obtained information from the captured elders. Inquiries about the information regarding the outer heaven demons have been made. It turns out we are not the first alien civilization to arrive on this cultivation continent. 1,000 years ago, mechanical creations descended from the sky to invade this world. At that time, the entire cultivation world united in effort, made great sacrifices. This is how victory was achieved. I suddenly remembered the external celestial demons they speak of. It is the worship of the Nuo Gao and other civilizations. If what they say is true, with the power of cultivators on this planet, is it really possible to defeat a battleship of a higher civilization? Is there an even more powerful cultivator here? Or perhaps there are other unknown forces at play. Apart from that, I gradually became interested in that downed warship. As we gradually delve deeper, I can already feel the tangible presence of the third generation nanobots around me. It is a full 10,000 meters deep from here to the ground. The dense signal source is connecting through my second generation nanomachine within my body to my consciousness, clearly conveyed to my mind. With my arrival, the third generation rice robots have become increasingly active. What unfolds before me at this moment, it is a winding path underground. A massive river gleaming with a silvery light, like mercury. This river converges deep underground. Many branches were split off again, expanding in all directions. A large number of new third-generation micro-robots are still dispersing outward. This is the Nini robot manufacturing plant. This is the place that cultivators refer to as the spiritual vein. It looks different from a traditional factory. Under my authorization, Kaiming had previously gained control of this factory and obtained the technical documentation from internal storage. How is it? Have you fully understood the materials? When will factories on Earth be able to produce? I observed this magical silver-white river. While strolling, he asked. The technical information has been understood. The transformation of the Neem robotic factory on Earth can begin immediately. Master, the third generation Nimi robot, which has been completely upgraded, is now fully controllable. Do you need to upgrade the second generation internal nanorobot in your body first? Kyming asked, "Let's begin." I didn't hesitate. The next moment, the silvery river beneath my feet gradually began to cover my footnet. "Master, please replace all the second generation nanobots in your body. The transformation will be completed as quickly as possible." I nodded. The second generation Inni robot was extracted from within. A power armor has formed on the surface of the body. The entire process didn't last long. The 3 generations of completed inner rice robots slowly retreated back into the Silver River. Then I will retract the armor into my body and began to connect with the brand new Nami robot. In an instant, I only feel that the whole world has changed. One's consciousness travels through the underground, the embodiment of billions everywhere, until consciousness reached the edge of the black hole galaxy and stopped, as consciousness sweeps across this vast planet over and over again. Soon I firmly identified a specific goal. That was clearly a dismantled Route 708. But the original framework of the warship's wreck is still visible, suppressed under a certain cultivation sect. This should be the battleship of the New Ogao advanced civilization. I will mark the coordinates in my mind. Then the consciousness connection with the outside world was interrupted for the 3rd-generation my robots. This is B. Next, I plan to go check out the marked wreckage of the Hinuo battleship, able to be called a higher civilization by the Mali people. I am also very interested in their level of technological development. Contact with these advanced civilizations will be almost inevitable in the future. It's always good to have prior knowledge. Master, does the Neem robot manufacturing plant here need to relocate? Kyming's voice rang out. I shook my head. No need. I do not intend to disrupt the current state of this world. Such a beautiful world of cultivation. If I moved away and they fell into the end of Dharma age, isn't it a pity? Thinking of the Western clans losing their power and becoming indistinguishable from ordinary people. What if other alien civilizations invade? They will be completely defenseless without power. So it's better to leave it to them. It's a small token of apology for my sudden visit. In fact, this is not a large factory at all. Number of Neem robots produced. It's not a lot compared to the quantity that should exist in the era of large-scale industry, mainly to supplement the parts that easily scatter into outer space, causes the concentration of Nemi robots on this planet, or to say the concentration of spiritual energy, always maintained within a constant. If it really is that kind of enormous factory, full production talk after 10,000 years. The Nemi robots on the entire planet have long since reached full capacity. Let's go. I took one last look at the winding Silver River, controlling the anti-gravity device. With the bionic burl, left the 10,000-meter abyss without looking back. At this time, 3,000 miles away from Kingshuan sect, a cultivation sect called Genmo sect. The disciples and elders at the door all had fierce expressions. I don't understand what happened. Since the establishment of the Genmo sect, standing at the highest point of the sect, was struck, although that great battle took place thousands of years ago. But they still understand what this means. Looking at the terrifying phenomenon above, everyone's nerves are tense at this moment. As the Genmo sect began to rise, famous sects and schools in the world, both large and small, received the news almost at the same time. The external demon returns once more. The calamity of 1,000 years ago will unfold once again. Wooer, I must go to the Genmo sect. You guard the mountain gate here. Daily diligent practice must not be neglected. Master, we are just a small sect. You are just helping the foundation cultivation. Isn't it better to lead such matters to the prestigious sects? Confused, a new king in the world carries the responsibility of the common man. How can a master fall behind others? Then it went. Such words are suddenly everywhere. Most sects received the news immediately, hastened to the town magic sect, a united front against the enemy, together to protect all living beings. The action to eliminate the magical is rapidly brewing, and I still don't know that I have become the enemy of the people. A wave of trouble is about to follow. Within the demon suppression sect, the major sects gather together. Yuo Yuzhu, as a giant, spoke about the fall of the Qingshuan sect. After enduring countless hardships to escape Qingshuan sect, he sought help everywhere, ran through several sects in a row. Finally, the message was successfully sent out. Under the call of the Genmo sect, most of the elite from various sects are coming and going. Gather at the demon suppression sect to prepare for the formation of a group. Guo Yuzhu's account also provoked outrage among many monks. Indeed, it is an evil cult. From this point on, Qingshuan sect. I fear I may be expelled from the cultivation world. Unfortunately, the Millennium Foundation of the Qingshuan dynasty, the cleanliness that dissipated in a moment. The story of Guo Yuzhu is complete. Facing the members of the assembly in the grand hall, kneel directly on the ground. Master Machen, our clan suffered heavy casualties. The leader of the Western Kiln sect is also caught in a fierce battle. The situation is critical. Please, a real person, save me from Qingshuan sect. You get up first. The matter of Qingshuan sect. We will definitely not turn a blind eye. Master Machen waved his hand. A surge of energy helped Guo Yuzhu to his feet. Master Mo Chen in his youth. Once also a pursuer of the Western Kiln true man. Now we know that Zhao Zhenren is in danger. Nature also longs to rescue him immediately. But he is no longer the young and reckless boy he once was. Now he bears the responsibility of the entire cultivation world in the fight against the outer celestial demons. Nature cannot be treated impulsively. It's our turn. Everyone was expressing their opinions to one another. At this moment, a figure appeared outside the grand hall. I have met the master. See the visitor. Master Mo Chen respectfully stood up. Bow respectfully to the vibrant figure entering the grand hall. In an instant, the entire hall fell silent. The leaders of countless sects. Everyone stood up and bowed to that figure. Have you ever met Zhenren Wei Yang? The bright red dress, with his unparalleled beauty. The whole person exuded an extremely aggressive beauty. Like an empress high above, she just stood there. All gazes were drawn to her, but no one dared to look her in the eye. 1,000 years ago, it dominated the world with an invincible momentum. The pressure made the breaths of everyone present feel heavier. Speed is of the essence in warfare, except for the personnel left behind. The rest will follow me to Qingshuan sect. Wei Yang Zhenren issued the order decisively. Yes. Everyone in the palace responded respectfully. At this moment in the Qingshuan sect, in a small courtyard where prisoners are held, the master of the Western temple looked at the returned storage bag in his hand. Deng Zheng is entranced. Kaiming's inspection of the storage bag has concluded. The storage bag looks only the size of a palm. However, there is about 10 cubic meters of space inside. Can utilize the third generation Nimi robot. Implement space compression technology. It seems the humans from 10,000 years ago. There has been a significant breakthrough in technology. We are leaving. You will go and release them yourself later. Half an hour later, the lockdown inside them will be automatically lifted. I said casually. The master of Zhao finally came to his senses. You have to let us go. The master of the Western kiln couldn't believe it. It is said that the demon of the outer skies is very brutal. Wherever he passed, it turned to ruins. How could they possibly let them go like this? Huh? The Lord is reluctant to let me go. Are you going to let me stay the night? I said softly. Shameless. The master of Zeo cursed inwardly, thinking about what happened between the two of them not long ago, feeling both angry and ashamed. My ears turned bright red. I waved my hand towards the leader of the Zeo sect. The seal within the West Kiln sect was instantly released. The spiritual energy has resumed its operation. Feeling the changes within, the leader of the Western Pavilion was initially filled with surprise. Then I couldn't help but start to wonder, is this really the legendary brutal outer heavenly demon mingling with their strength? It would be as easy as flipping a hand to destroy the Kingshuan sect. But from beginning to end, no one from the Kingshuan sect died. Not only that, also assist in treating the injured disciple elder. He has now been freed from the restrictions within his body. Could this really be a misunderstanding? The leader of the West Shrine harbored doubts in his heart. The entire land suddenly trembled. It is a large industrial machine formed from a self-disciplined mechanical aggregate, filling the deep pit with dirt, restoring the excavated ground. Soon, everything returned to its original state. The originally damaged buildings have all been repaired. As if the battle just now had never occurred, the master of Zeo looked at the rejuvenated sect. As if it were a dream, I smiled slightly and said, I said it before. At first, this was just a misunderstanding. We are not any foreign celestial demons. I just came here to look for something. Everything that needs to be done is finished now. We should be leaving now. Speak, and I will turn to leave. The master of Zeo called out to me. Wait a moment. Who exactly are you? Lylon, I am just a wanderer in the sea of stars. Just a traveler wanting to return home. At this point, I couldn't help but sigh. Although I now possess the entire earth, but the sense of belonging as a human. Eagerly, I wanted to find my kind. The master of Zeo looked at the man in front of him. There is a strange emotion in my heart. Build your own tree stand. Never influenced by anything in this world. But today my emotions are fluctuating wildly because of this person. Repeatedly losing composure. What is really happening to me? A brief silence. At this moment, the master could only hear his own heartbeat. I should go now. Can you tell me your name before you leave? I said with a smile. A memento left to me by the Lord. I will remember it well. I waved the hand that had been bitten. The leader of the Western Temple blushed. Angrily said, This is all your own fault. Who allowed you to be so rude to me? Yes, yes, yes. The little one knows they were wrong. I humbly ask for your forgiveness, esteemed master. I smiled helplessly. Sayo, thy name? The leader of the Western kiln looked to the side and slowly said, My name is Lin Zhu. So, Miss Zeo, we shall meet again if fate allows. I waved at her. Translation error. Heading towards the clear wind, waiting in the sky. The bionic girl also nodded at the Zeo sect master, turned round and followed me. Suddenly, in front of the large mountain gate, only the leader of the Zeo sect remains, staring blankly at the enormous sword in the sky. Several recovered elders flew behind her. They anxiously asked right away, Sanju, are you well? The lord of the Western kiln shook his head, silent as a stone. It's a feeling that's hard to describe. And at this moment, 500 miles away, Master Wei Yang is leading the main force towards King Shuan sect. During this time, there was also Shuan Zhenren, the joining of the three divine beings, Master Huai Jing, Master Han Tian, and the magical artifact, the morale of the allied forces instantly surged. The vast army swiftly advanced toward its target. Everyone. Ahead is the Qingshuan sect. Everyone listens without command, exercising evil and upholding justice. Just today, the matters regarding the Qingshuan sect have been handled. I am piloting the Qingfeng, heading towards the crash site of the Hino battleship at the foot of the mountain gate. The elders and disciples of Qingshuan sect, watching the massive battleship sail away. Everyone looks fierce. The legendary Yuwai Tianmo is incredibly ruthless. Wherever it passes, it becomes scorched earth. But today, it only briefly imprisoned them. Not only did he slash she not kill them, also treated the injured, restored the damaged sect. Now they left without looking back. This is not quite like the legend. For a moment, the disciples were in heated discussion. Several elders were filled with doubts. They all possess the cultivation of the seventh golden core. After receiving treatment from the other party, there are faint signs of a breakthrough in strength. Only the sect leader, Zai Yao Zhenren, remained silent. No one knows what he is thinking at this moment. Half an hour after the fleet departed, the grand coalition of cultivators has arrived at Qingshuan sect. On the way, to meet up with several other prominent figures of the transformation stage 7, they took a slight turn. It turned out to be a brush with the outer heavenly demon they spoke of. Are we late? The heavenly demons outside. Look, everything in the Qingshuan sect is intact. Where did this outer heavenly demon come from? The group of cultivators were filled with questions. Then everyone turned their gaze towards Guo Yuzhu in the crowd. Guo Yuzhu was also dumbfounded at this moment. What is going on? I clearly remember. When they escaped, the entire Qingshuan sect was already besieged. Even the mountain gate has been blasted away halfway. How is this piece intact again? A pair of suspicious eyes stared at Guo Yuzhu. Everyone seemed to be waiting for his explanation. Guo Yuzhu suddenly realized. Are you doubting me for falsely reporting the situation? I am just a little Chi refinement, level 9. Even if I had 10 times the courage, I wouldn't dare to tell such a big lie. Just as he was sweating profusely and didn't know how to explain himself, several figures flew out from Qingshuan sect. The person who arrived was the sect leader, Xiao Zhenren, and several Golden Core 7th elders. I have met a few real people. Xiao Zhenren met with several transformation gods. No need for excessive politeness. I will wait for the call for help to come assist. What is going on? Why Yang Zhenren is not very familiar with Qingshuan Zong. Qingshuan sect has only risen in prominence in the last 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, he has guarded the mechanical creations that keep the celestial demons at bay. I hardly ever went out. Why Yang Zhenren Ron Bing? The outer heavenly demon has indeed invaded the Qingshuan sect. However, it did not harm the Qingshuan sect. Just capture us prisoners. Then they began to dig 3 feet into the ground. It seems like they are looking for something. They finished everything. So they let us go again. Moreover, he also treated the injured. This mountain gate was also repaired by them before they left. Xiao sect master quickly explained. It's simply ridiculous. According to what you said, the outer celestial demons are just a group of well-meaning individuals. Could it be that your Qingshuan sect has already allied with the outer heavenly demons? On a cold day, people find it hardest to endure, right? In the battle against the outer heavenly demons 1,000 years ago, half of the sect members of the Cold Heaven Ascendant have been killed or injured. Nature cannot stand such words that seem to whitewash the outer celestial demons. With a glare, the pressure from the 7 masters of transformation surrounded from all directions. pressing towards the leader of the Xiao sect. Xiao Zongzhu suddenly found it hard to breathe. "Pulled day. Don't be reckless. This matter requires careful consideration. Critical moment." It was the gentle Shuinai Zhenren who stepped forward to mediate, and blocked the pressure from the cold sky deity. Xiao Zongzhu finally couldn't catch his breath, then quickly defended himself. "The younger generation has no such intention. It's just that the younger generation feels. What we encountered this time may not be the outer heavenly demon. It is not the outer celestial demons. The news of King Xuanzong being besieged, but you brought the disciples of King Xuan sect. His description is almost identical to that of the outer heaven demon from 1,000 years ago. Furthermore, there are strange phenomena in this world." "Is there really such a coincidence in the world?" Han Tan shouted angrily. Master Wei Yang nodded slowly. "Where did they go after leaving?" "Head southwest. The younger generation does not know exactly where they went." Xiao Zhenren replied. "Southwest direction. Master, over there is." Master Mo Chen suddenly realized. Genmo sect. Their target is the demon suppression sect. On a cold day, someone blurted out. Wei Yang Zhenren's expression turned cold. Said decisively, "Everyone returns to the demon suppression sect." Wei Yang Zhenren, the leader of the Xiao sect, wanted to say something else. Wei Yang Zhenren interrupted him. "All practitioners of the golden elixir Kai from the Qingshuan sect, follow me." The leader of the Xiao sect swallowed the words that were about to escape his lips. "I will follow the elders' orders." On the other side, the King Zonghao has already crossed over the demon suppression sect. The remaining disciples of the Zhenmo sect were in chaos. I never expected the otherworldly demons would turn and launch a surprise attack on the Zhenmo sect. Although the Guardian formation has been activated, but that otherworldly demon that blocks out the sun, yet it still instilled fear in the hearts of these disciples. A massive number of self-disciplined mechanical aggregates are waiting for their fate. At this moment I am staring fiercely. Consciousness is connected to the third generation nanobots. I am looking for the warship of the Nuo civilization, under the suppression of the array formations beneath the demon suppression sect. And I could faintly sense that. It seems there is something aboard that battleship, the existence of a force that nanorobots greatly despise. I want to control this part of the nanobots. Enter there to take a look. Little did they know at the moment of contact. The nanorobots lost contact. I was greatly surprised. It seems this battleship has fallen, but it isn't as simple as it seems. Interesting. I want to see what is causing the trouble. A silly smile hangs at the corner of my mouth. The interest in this warship has grown even stronger. With my command, tens of thousands of self-disciplined mechanical aggregates began to move. I issued a command in my consciousness. The entire town of demon suppression uses third-generation nanobots. The protective formation instantly collapsed. At the same time, hundreds of autonomous mechanical aggregates gathered. Landing around, the sect became a node, form a massive defensive barrier of the effort field, trap the entire sect inside. Then the remaining autonomous machines effortlessly, easily captured this group of remaining disciples from the Zhenmo sect. But just when I was with the bionic girl, just about to step off the Qingfeng ship towards the sealing location on the back mountain, figures appeared in the distant sky. The leader wore a red dress, like a fiercely burning flame. The whole person was like a meteor streaking through the sky, rushing towards me. Only his angry voice echoed from afar, boldly tormenting the demons. "How dare you lure the tiger away from the mountain to attack my demon suppression sect?" Translation error. Speak and raise your hand. The sound of the cloud sword emerged. A crimson sword shadow sliced through the heavens toward me. The red figure sliced through the sky, red as flames, sudden as thunder, rushing toward the direction of the Zhenmo sect. Master Wei Yang personally presides. The remnants of the outer celestial demons have been suppressed for a full millennium. Just thinking about the horror of that thing, Wei Yang Genren was taken aback. Once the remnants of the celestial demon are released, it will be a catastrophe for the entire cultivation world. No matter what, we must not let that thing return to the world. The sound of the sword echoed through the clouds. The fiery red sword shadow that cuts across the heavens and the earth slashed towards the forward crimson field defense. This sword breaks the clouds and parts the sea. Taichon Ziohan. However, this light sword strike from Zhenren Wei Yang was at full strength. It only caused a slight fluctuation in the Chai-Life field's defenses. Instead, the aftershocks spread in all directions. In an instant, the ground and rocks of the eastern region trembled for 100 miles, like waves rolling in, pushed away by the shockwave. A single strike determines the outcome. Wei Yang Genren was not discouraged. He had experienced the power of the foreign demons deeply 1,000 years ago. That battle caused countless righteous masters to fall. Even he himself showed hidden resentment towards the northwest. Such strength is to be expected now. Only then did Master Wei Yang narrow his eyes slightly. The spiritual energy of the surrounding world quickly converged towards him. His hand is a breathtaking move. The blazing sword light seemed ready to split heaven and earth. The power of this sword. Even the several cultivators of Transformation Stage 7 did not dare to use their swords. This time he aimed at a weak point in the defense. He has already noticed these gigantic mechanical creations. Together they form this barrier. So as long as we focus a bit, we can break through. We can definitely break through this barrier. At this moment, I am on the back mountain, waiting for the disciplined mechanical collective to operate, to ensure minimal damage to the sunken battleship wreckage sealed underground. I command the self-disciplined mechanical aggregate to set the excavation action on fire. The excavation progress has slowed down quite a bit, but at the same time, the vibrations caused by the excavation have also decreased significantly. So, when I felt the huge tremor coming from afar, I immediately knew that the defensive perimeter was under attack. It seems the main character has returned. So I connected my consciousness to the robot outside, the bionic girl who shares permissions with me. The two of them simultaneously observed the situation outside. Master, leave it to me to solve. The bionic girl spoke up. I nodded. It's up to you now. The bionic girl understands what I mean. Although the newcomer is not weak in strength, but it is still not enough in front of the massive self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. Once the self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate identifies it as a dangerous target, it is impossible for this group of cultivators to withstand. The deadly move of the self-disciplined mechanical conglomerate. This goes against my original intention of trying not to kill. So having a bionic girl do it is the best option, although I can also do it myself. But at this moment, I am more under the wreckage of the He Nuo warship in a different dimension. Just like that, the bionic girl soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, we had crossed the barrier of the arduous defense and arrived outside. And as Wei Yang Zhenren's next sword move was just unleashed, suddenly a figure appeared. Block your own sword move. Wei Yang Zhenren felt a sudden tension in his heart, cautiously watching the approaching person from the way he casually dealt with the attack. His strength is at least on par with his. But when Wei Yang Zhenren saw the visitor's face, he felt a bit of pressure. That unexpectedly was a girl whose figure and appearance were not inferior to his. Completely different from the impression of the outer celestial demon, the oppressive emotions passed in a flash. 1,000 years have passed. This might be a disguise by the outer heavenly demon to confuse them. Truly deceitful beyond measure. You are the leader of this group of monsters. Why Yang Zhenren noticed the approaching person was cold and distant. My master is busy. Please don't make noise. The bionic girl said with a hint of irritation. Heard the answer. Why Yang Zhenren couldn't help but feel a shock in his heart. Even just one demon general possesses strength equal to his. Then the leader of this group of celestial demons must be terrifying. This is a demon, and even if it costs my life, I cannot let him leave alive. The two stood in silence, facing each other. The air around seemed to have dropped to freezing point. Who is the master of your house? Let him out. Why Yang Zhenren no longer hides is killing intent. The pressure of the divine artifact descended from all directions towards the bionic girl, Po Jing. Translation error. The bionic girl shows no fear. Without further ado, Master Wei Yang has expressed his opinion again. The consciousness of the bionic girl has already connected with the robot filled with the essence of the universe. He slightly raised his hand. The spiritual energy of the world became his to wield. The control authority of the bionic girl over them is second only to mine. As long as I don't intervene. At this moment, the android girl, this area is dominated by the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The next moment, a large amount of spiritual energy rapidly converged in his hands. One strike to prevail, suddenly collided with that fierce sword. Under the urgent pressure of the two people, the earth trembles. The aftermath of the battle caused the already devastated land to turn over once again. In an instant, the line stretches for thousands of miles. The trees and grass wither away. Yet the shockwave that hit the two seemed like a gentle breeze. Not even a slight movement from the two. Not bet. Why Yang Zhenren had roamed the world for over 1,000 years without encountering an opponent. This evaluation is already extraordinary and unparalleled. Then Wei Yang Zhenren formed a sword gesture with his hand. Juyan sword, internal sword, 1 flower, 2. Erhua Wanjian. In the blink of an eye, Master Wei Yang conjured countless flying swords around him. The crimson sword shadow darted like a fleeing dragon, rushing towards the android girl. Faced with the endless crimson sword shadows, one side is torn apart. The bionic girl did not choose to confront head on like before, but directly turned back, using one's own access to the internal sensitive robot. In an instant, it severed Wei Yang Zhenren's control over these flying swords. Suddenly, the previously fierce flying sword, in the blink of an eye, it froze in midair. The loss of control shook Master Wei Yang's heart. The Juyan sword is his lifelong flying sword that he has cultivated for a full 1,200 years. How could I suddenly lose connection with myself? He attempted various methods to regain control of the Juyan sword. It's a pity it's completely useless. Meanwhile, the bionic girl has instantly settled close to him. At this moment, Wei Yang Zhenren had no time to pay attention to the Juyan sword. A fist clenched. An explosive force. The self-defense of Yang Zhenren is limited. This force intersects with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. With the aid of spiritual energy, the fist of Wei Yang Zhenren shone with a sunlight like brilliance.